Welcome back, focused learners. Today, we're unlocking web2py. Now, if you've ever felt totally bogged down by the sheer friction of modern web development, well, this is exactly the explainer for you. We're going to look closely at what might just be the ultimate frictionless solution for building robust web applications using Python. We're diving right into the technical architecture that allows it to bypass that usual setup fatigue entirely.
Okay, let's dive into this. Are you just exhausted by spending 3 days configuring virtual environments, wrestling with Docker containers, and tweaking Webpack before you can write a single line of actual Python code? You are certainly not alone in that. That collective trauma of assembly-required framework setup is exactly the headache we're tackling today.
So here is our roadmap. First, we'll meet web2py. Second, we'll look at rapid development. Third, ironclad integrated security. Fourth, comparing Python frameworks. And finally, 5, why choose web2py? Let's jump in.
Section 1. Meet web2py, the pre-furnished house.
To truly understand this framework, I want you to think of typical web development kind of like buying IKEA furniture. You get all the pieces, sure, but you have to put it all together yourself. web2py, which was created by Massimo De Piero back in 2007, is more like walking into a fully furnished, highly secure, smart home where everything just works the moment you turn the key. It's an open-source framework where the core philosophy has literally always been absolute simplicity, immense productivity, and uncompromising security. And that 2007 date is actually really important too, because it establishes a highly credible, time-tested pedigree in the ever-shifting landscape of web tech.
Now, it's known as a full-stack framework. What that really means is it's a complete package providing absolutely everything you need to build, deploy, and manage an application. Out of the box, it comes armed with the fast and lightweight Rocket web server, a fully featured web-based IDE, and a highly capable database abstraction layer that natively defaults to SQLite but can seamlessly connect to PostgreSQL or MySQL later on. This cohesive ecosystem is just fantastic because it completely eliminates the tedious need for you to spend hours piecing together and troubleshooting third-party components just to get a basic app running.
Section 2. Built for rapid development.
If you are frustrated by agonizingly slow development cycles that just stifle your creativity, this is going to be your solution. So the crucial point here is this idea of zero configuration. It's the ability to start building applications immediately after installation without needing to configure the environment at all. Now, this radically lowers the barrier to entry for beginners, but for seasoned pros, it absolutely supercharges rapid prototyping. You install it and you're instantly ready to go. No fuss. The workflow is genuinely this simple. Step 1, install web2py. Step 2, open the integrated web IDE. And Step 3, write and edit your code instantly. I want you to ask yourself, why does this actually matter to you? Well, it matters because every single hour you spend wrestling with environment variables and server configurations is an hour you aren't building your application. Spending less time on setup means vastly more time actually building your app and getting it into the hands of your users.
This translates directly to your daily workflow. You get an integrated web-based IDE that lets you edit, manage, and debug directly in your browser, which natively supports collaborative team development right from the jump. But honestly, perhaps the best feature for your own sanity is the automatic code reloading. If you've ever worked with older Python setups, you know the absolute pain of constantly killing and restarting your server. During development with web2py, your code changes are reloaded automatically. Seeing your modifications instantaneously drastically speeds up debugging and testing. Plus, it includes comprehensive out-of-the-box libraries for common tasks like form handling, internationalization, and session management.
Section 3. Ironclad Integrated Security.
Now, what's really interesting about this next part is how it handles something incredibly serious, the dark side of web development. Hackers, data breaches, ever-evolving vulnerabilities, they are a constant threat. But web2py doesn't treat security as an afterthought or some plugin you have to configure later. It automatically protects user sessions and credentials through role-based access control, or RBAC, allowing you to define user permissions super easily. It features cross-site request forgery protection to ensure requests coming to the server are legitimate and from authenticated users. And, absolutely crucial for maintaining user trust, it implements secure password storage right out of the gate, using modern hashing and salting techniques. And it actually goes even further than that, because web2py automatically handles input validation and sanitization. This seamless handling prevents incredibly common and destructive vulnerabilities like SQL injection and cross-site scripting, or XSS. It handles this validation so smoothly that you can finally stop looking over your shoulder. Developers can focus entirely on creating amazing features rather than constantly fearing a targeted attack on every single input field they create.
Section 4. Comparing Python frameworks.
To properly understand web2py's place in the market today, we need to objectively contextualize it against other industry giants, drawing directly from the framework's own documentation. On one end, we have Django, which is really well known for its comprehensive batteries included structure, fantastic for massive, complex routing requirements. On the completely other end is Flask, favored for its heavily minimalist approach and deep flexibility, making it perfect for spinning up tiny microservices. And then we have web2py, sitting in its own unique space with its integrated and zero-config philosophy, featuring that really powerful built-in web IDE. I want to be perfectly clear here. There is no subjective winner among these three. The right framework completely depends on your specific developer needs. If you require extreme minimalism, Flask is your choice. If you're building a massive media outlet, maybe Django. But if you want zero setup, rapid prototyping for internal tools, and an integrated browser IDE to get moving instantly, well, web2py is the tool for you.
Section 5. Why choose web2py?
And this brilliantly illustrates the core value proposition for choosing this framework for your next big project. First, its accessible zero-configuration design is a massive win for both beginners trying to learn and seasoned pros trying to build quickly. Second, despite its sheer simplicity on the surface, it has a highly scalable architecture supported by efficient database management, meaning it gracefully scales from tiny weekend projects all the way to large enterprise apps. Third, that integrated security we discussed gives developers absolute peace of mind. And finally, it's heavily backed by an active community, meaning continuous updates, extensive documentation, and supportive forums are always right there at your fingertips.
Which brings us to our final thought for this explainer. If setup takes zero time, what will you build with all the time you save? When the friction is completely removed from the development process, your creativity can actually take the driver's seat. So go out there, grab web2py, and start rapid prototyping. Thank you so much for joining me today, and as always, keep learning.